Hey, this podcast holds nothing sacred. This is Life, Tech, and Sundry. And what is Sundry? It's our experiences put in a melting pot to the internet. So join us on this wild ride called the LTS Podcast. Follow us at LT Sundry on Twitter, LTS.pod on Instagram, Life, Tech, and Sundry on YouTube, and all your favorite podcast distribution services. Stay frosty.
Welcome. Today on this special episode of Light, Tech, and Sundry, Out of Office Edition, I am your host, Mr. J, aka the true host, and definitely not Marcos. Today, we turn off the fluorescent lights and dive right into the darkness. We're deep into our US horror tour, and today, we're hitting the Northeast. The place where legends are old, but the fear is still brand new. We're going strictly for the highest and thickest of searches and most terrifying stories you can find. So grab your coffee, dim your lights, and let's start this trip. A ghost and a horrifying penitentiary. Sleepy Hollow, New York. The Headless, his head just did that. Horseman. The Headless Horseman isn't just another bedtime story. He is the absolute OG of American psychological horror. The lore from Washington's Irving's classic story is pure dread. The Horseman, said to be a Haitian soldier who lost his skull to a cannonball in a Revolutionary War battle, isn't just looking for his head. He is the literal manifestation of the worst anxieties. He is the personification of Ichabod Crane's deepest fears, making his story a masterclass in how the mind can create a monster far scarier than anything physical. The original story is a relentless tale of terror. The horseman rides through the night, a chilling blur on the road, and a relentless chase after the terrified Ichabod, who I may be mispronouncing, but who cares at this point, who is riding for his life. It's a climax that plays on primal, terrifying fear that something is after you and you can't get away. Like my bills. I can never get away from my bills. The chase is the central nerve of the story. It is why it stood the test of time, not the taste of time. Enduring every modern critique and film adaptation. The most chilling part is that we never truly know if the horseman was real or simply the climax of Ichabod's own breakdown. AKA, it's in his headcanon. It may or may not be in his headcanon, it may or not be real, but it exists in our hearts. Thanks to the internet though, a new generation gets to experience the chills of the story, constantly debating the meaning of the spectral writer. This urban legend is a perfect example of how our human fear can take a simple tale and make it a terrifying legend that feels just as real today as it did centuries ago. Could the horseman be a legend that warns us to confront our inner demons? Or not just a monster in the dark? Or it could be all Marcos' headcanon. Again, or sorry, not Marcos, Ichabod's headcanon. But that's a tale for another night. Eastern State Penitentiary, Salem Township, Pennsylvania. If those walls could talk, is what's stated here first. Forget regional legends. This is one of the most haunted and high-traffic destinations in the entire country. I am not sure if that fact is true or not, but we'll go with it. Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia is a massive Gothic monument to human suffering and failure. Why do we have it? Who the hell knows? But it was built on the Quaker idea of penance through isolation, meaning inmates were kept completely alone for most of the day. The original goal was reform, but the result was widespread madness. Witch, not sandwich, but witch, is a haunting in itself. The prison was famous for its early brutal practices, including the Pennsylvania system, not Transylvania, Pennsylvania, which is required convicts to be isolated in their cells 24/7. This relentless isolation was a psychological torture that caused inmates to descend into madness. Even the infamous mobster Al Capone, was allegedly tormented by the ghost of a victim who, while locked in his cell. The sheer history of trauma here is staggering. Some may say chilling. Some may say Mr. Chill himself is there in that cell. But today, Eastern State is a powerhouse of paranormal investigation, generating massive search volume and drawing thousands of visitors for tours for some reason. Who knows? It is a certified Halloween destination, competing with the biggest attractions in the country. The hauntings aren't subtle. This embodied laughter, shadowy figures, and the constant feeling of being watched are common reports from staff and visitors alike. This sounds familiar. This isn't a simple local legend. It is a structural time capsule of deep historical terror. The walls, man, themselves are saturated with the suffering of thousands. It is proof that sometimes the worst monsters were the ones designing the system itself, aka Mr. Chill. No, I'm joking. No, but yeah. When we hear a scary story, are we more afraid of the monster or the possibility that we might create one ourselves? The world may never know, unless you yourself look in the mirror and say, I'm looking at... Oh, I can't say the rest of that because that's copyrighted. Anyway, and that's what's so chilling about these stories. The line in between a real person and a monster gets blurred. But remember, everyone, I am a villain, not a monster. Speaking of blurring lines, we're taking a quick trip south to find a legend that is as real as a ghost, aka cursed trees and the serial Tickler. Why not? Over here in Bernards Township, New Jersey, and warning for the Gingigori. The Devil's Tree in the heart of New Jersey lies a lonely oak tree. Some may say Mr. George Washington may have wanted to cut that tree down, but he forgot it. So hence it's there as a lonely oak tree with a terrible reputation. This is the Devil's Tree and is supposedly a high-value cursed object. Legends say a farmer killed his family and then hanged himself from his branches, and ever since, his angry spirit protects it, punishing anyone who dares to disrespect the tree. Story has all the elements of a classic folktale, a tragic origin, a supernatural cause, and a powerful sense of malevolence clinging to the land. It only needs two brothers and a sweet-ass muscle car to come in and solve this case, but it's okay. That's another show. The legend has spread through the internet with countless stories of people who have tried to harm the tree, only to have their chainsaws mysteriously fail. The car is inexplicably breaks down or suffer terrible misfortunes, like going number 2 in your pants as you're trying to take down this tree. That's a misfortune right there. These cautionary tales serve as a primal warning. Some things are truly better left alone. The lore has made the tree a magnet for thrill seekers, solidifying its place as a popular spot for late night challenges. Oh gosh, that's the start of a horror movie if I say so myself. I bet you that was the start of Halloween. No, it wasn't. This is a perfect example of a legend that makes you wonder, what happens when you anger the forces of nature? The story is a chilling reminder that some things are better left alone. A primal fear, again, that primal fear, that resonates with a modern audience. Do you believe some object can hold a curse, or are they just twisted tales that scare us into leaving things alone? From there, we hop, skip, and jump to... You actually thought I was going to talk about the Ticklers? No, we are going to Salem, Massachusetts. If we're talking high traffic horror in Massachusetts, we have to start in Salem. The Salem Witch Trials are the undisputed highest searched subject in the state, drawing thousands of visitors yearly to explore its dark history. This wasn't a legend. It was a devastating historical event fueled by mass hysteria, economic Historia. Economic instability and Puritan religious fever. Over 200 people were accused of practicing the devil's magic, and 19 were executed by hanging. The core horror of the trials were use of spectral evidence, testimonies about dreams or visions that accused couldn't possibly defend against. This created a climate where neighbor turned on neighbor, and the accusations spiraled out of control. Today, the town embraces its eerie past with places like the Witch House and the old Burying Point Cemetery being magnets for paranormal activity and historic tours. This is not just a ghost story, it is a terrifying social commentary. Salem has become an international symbol of injustice and dangers of mass paranoia, whatever that word says. Paranoia, close enough. Making it a powerful touchstone for modern audience. The execution site, Proctor's Ledge, reportedly still holds a heavy atmosphere and unexplained light. While the Salem trials are the highest search draw, Boston whispers about a much weirder modern terror. The Boston Tickler. This niche legend is about a foot-obsessed intruder who sneaks into people's homes and commit the utmost violation, tickling their feet whilst they're sleeping. It is a bizarre, high-concept story that plays directly on our fear of human invasion, but with a strange, unsettling twist that tailor-made for the internet age. The question is, how much of our feet can be tickled at once? No. How much of our fear is tied to what we can't explain, and how much is just the simple human terror of someone breaking into your home? From being hung for being a witch to some random ass is coming to your house, tickling your feet like some weirdo. You decide what's more scarier. From a fear of what could be, we're going to a fear of what's said to be. Let's head over to Connecticut, where a legend that's gone completely viral. From a Salem escapes to cursed hamlets, Fairfield County, Connecticut. The chilling tale of the Melonheads, because that's what we care most about in Connecticut. A Connecticut urban legend. Melonheads are a classic viral urban legend. The core story claims a group of inbred escapees from a mental asylum in Connecticut live in the woods. According to the legend, they are said to have deformed large heads, hence the name, and have been known to terrorize anyone who stumbles upon their remote hideouts, throwing rocks at cars, preying on travelers. Not to be confused with praying, but like pray like roar. The stories vary, with some claiming they are cannibalistic, while others simply say they got big ass heads and they throw rocks at cars. The terroring narrative has been shared on countless websites, and this is how you know it's true, and message boards, with each telling a new layer of terror to their original legend. There you go. It's a story fueled by local gossip and terrified teenagers on a late night dare. Some may say they might be, a little bit under the weather, or with the munchies, but cementing its status as pure local folklore. Yes, that's the word. This legend feels like a classic horror movie plot. I would like to make a point that if you ever do use this as a movie plot, we would like to take 5% royalties from that. Just to let you know. And it's proofs that sometimes the simplest stories are the scariest. It taps into our with the primal fears, the one we can't quite explain. It has stood the test of time thanks to the internet. When a simple local story goes viral, it is still an urban legend, or is it something else entirely? And that what makes this legend so sticky, right? They're not just about ghosts and goblins. Goblins? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not the goblin player. There are about the stuff we are afraid of in real life. The unknown. and how easily we can turn a bizarre story into a local monster. Thanks to the internet, a whole new generation gets to experience the chills of these urban legends. And mind you, there are many, many more. And with that, that is the conclusion of the Northeast. Let me know what you guys think on social media, aka Instagram, Twitter, X/X, YouTube comments. Have you heard of these stories before? Do you have any local legends that are even creepier in your area? Tag us on the links below in the description with your stories. And please include whatever hashtag Marcos thinks at this moment. He'll have it and he will say it right here in 3, 2, 1.
Hashtag LTS Spooks.
And that's the hashtag that you'll be placing in. Please tag us with that and let us know. But with that, until next time, this is your boy, your favorite host, Mr. J. And you are, of course, listening to the Out of Office podcast, aka a sublet of Life, Tech, and Sundry. We'll catch you next time on Life, Tech, and Sundry.